What's going on there, fellow YouTubers? This is Chris from the Msss Anomalies channel. Guys, got another cool one for you today. This one here is from the picture of Valles Marineris. And if you guys are not familiar with Marineris, that is basically the granddaddy of all Grand Canyons. Right there, runs along the equator of Mars. So let me show you what that right here. Let's go to the page, and of course this is NASA. And you can see right here what they do is they have Mars here in the smaller picture, and they just kind of threw the shape of the United States over it, just to give you an idea how much it expands. It actually goes a little bit off to the left here and off to the right. So it's pretty large. It's actually 2,500 miles. And if you read this here, the Valles Marineris, or Mariner Valley, is a vast canyon system that runs along the Martian equator. Now, keep in mind, guys, the Martian equator, they've said that first of all, there is an atmosphere, and I don't care what anybody says. They say it's thin. I think it's a little bit more than thin. I think it's actually a little bit more life-sustainable. And, when you look at this thing, you go, okay, so... They also talked about how the temperature can run from 70 to 80 degrees Fahrenheit there. So, yeah, I think it's doable to have people on there. Or life, call it what you will. Meaning if we went there, we could live, I think, with no problem without suits and the whole 9 yards. But, they'll say no, of course. Anyway, just east of the Tharsis region, Valles Marineris is 4,000 kilometers or 2,500 miles, excuse me, long, and reaches depths of up to 7 kilometers, 4 miles. For comparison, the Grand Canyon in Arizona is about 800 kilometers, 500 miles long, and is 1.6 kilometers, 1 mile deep. In fact, the extent of Valles Marineris is as long as the United States, and it spans about 20%, or 1/5 of the entire distance around Mars. So that's what I'm saying. It runs along the actual equator belt, if you will. Okay, which is, like I said, well, I believe if it's warmest at the equator, well, there's a good chance you'll find more life. So, in fact, let me it goes back here. The canyon extends from the Noctis Labyrinthus, which is right here. It's in this area. You won't be able to see it right there, but I'll show you a little bit. Well, right here. It looks like a bunch of labyrinths. That's why they call it what they call it. Region in the west to the chaotic terrain in the east. Most researchers agree that the Valles Marineris is a large tectonic crack in the Martian crust, forming as a planet cooled, affected by the rising crust in the Tharsis region to the west, and subsequently widened by erosive or erosional forces. However, near the eastern flanks of the rift, there appear to be some channels that may have been formed by water. Well, from all the pictures we've seen and all of the, what I call the team, everybody who's done these knows that there's water there, there's vegetation. I believe there's, not only is there past life, meaning structures and everything else, maybe they were ruined by war or some kind of, catastrophic event, whatever. I believe that those, we're seeing the destructive part, but I believe there's also living people on there now, or beings, call it what you will. So, anyway, here's the picture here. You can't click on this because I clicked on it and it says it cannot find it. But, anyway, here it is here. And this is, you can see up on the left-hand corner, is, photojournal, JPL, and it's PIA 00426 JPEG. Now, what's crazy about this thing is this is supposed to be, I think it was taken in 1972 and 73 by the Viking orbiters. I believe it was Viking, was it the 9? I believe it was 9. I could be mistaken. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong here. Now, they do say it is a mosaic. So basically it is a bunch of pictures that have been sewn and stitched together. Stitch is what they like to call. So let's take a look at this just for the heck of it, because I want to show you something that's a little off here. To me, this whole picture has been manufactured. And I'm going to show you why in a second. First of all, you can see the stitch. You can see the multiple pitches, but they run this way. They run this way. This one here goes to length. And you will look at all the way down. And it pretty much goes. So I don't have a problem with that. I can see that it actually has a stitch to it. Okay. I'm perfectly okay with that. What I have a problem with is when you go up here. I want to see if I can find it again. It may not be there. Let me just see. Yeah, let me see here. Okay. Check this out. Different pictures I get, I'm okay with that. But look at the way this thing is. Look at it. It comes down here from the center, all the way down, almost goes to a point right here, and goes back up this way going towards the upper right of the picture. Okay. I thought they were in strips. I didn't think they were pieced together like a piece of pizza. Look at this. It's like completely blurred. This one's pretty sharp. But look right down here, just below that, it's actually spot blurred. Okay, how about this area right here? Look at this. It comes down, stops right here, goes over to here, and then it's just right here. But yet this little piece here is completely crystal clear. How does that work? How do you do that? So, I mean, I get that it's small pieces, and I guess that's, you know, that's debatable. I'm okay with different pieces, but come on, man. There's actually spot blurring all over this picture. Look at this whole area right here. The whole thing has been completely blurred out. All down here has. It looks like they're just trying to make it look like it's just a darker terrain. Yeah, it's not. You can just see where it's been blurred out. And you can see, look at this. You can actually see where there's lines here where they tried to just, you know, just take a whole area out. Where did I just see that? You can just see it right here. Look at this. There's like lines running across. Look at this right here. Right here. It's been completely blurred out. And you can see it right here, just running all along here. It's completely blurred out of there. You know, like I said, I don't care about, you know, stitching. You know, that's common sense. I get all that, but no. This is just crazy. This has been manufactured. The reason why I say it's been manufactured is because I had the same picture. Here's the problem. I've had mine on a flash drive for God knows how long. I've had it on there for quite a while. And I cannot find the same picture. So it makes you wonder, are they going back and redoing these pictures? I say yes. I believe absolutely they are. Now, especially this area here, I'm going to show you something that just clearly looks like structures, and whatever they are, they're huge. I mean, because when you look at the comparison, because this is, in fact, supposed to be from here, and I don't know if they go way out here to the very finger, you know, completely tips of the fingers of this labyrinth area, all the way to here. I don't know exactly where they end, but it's supposed to be 2,500 miles. Okay, up here, you're going to see in the picture I've got, it looks like there's structures there. And they're quite large. Now, when I say structure, I don't mean one building. For all we know, like I showed you in the comparison with the New York picture that I blurred up, you know, there could be multiple. There could be like a whole block. Well, I'm going to call it city block for argument's sake, because that's what we know it as. And it could be 50, 60, 100 buildings in that one little area. So what I'm going to show you is not just one structure. It's probably multiple. Okay, that's not what I want to show you. Okay, so this is the picture I've got, and it looks pretty much the same thing, only it's a little darker. You know, when you look at this, well, we can look at this one here. This one here is just as good. Okay, it's pretty much the same picture, but it's not. Now, you can see right here, the stitching, and it's all blurred right there. Well, let's see if it is. Well, it's got the same line. It's right here, and it's completely blurred right here. So it is the same picture. However, that has unique things to it that, yeah, they just point out intelligently made. At least to me it does. So let's get started. And I'm going to show you something that has a comparison that's just really, really wild. All of this right here down in the lower right corner, manufactured. This has just been, you know, they make it look like, well, you know, there's nothing there. Don't even bother looking. But look how blurry it looks. Like you can see here's like, you know, pixelations and maybe compression marks. You look over here, complete blur. Why is that? Because there's stuff being hidden in this picture. Now watch this. This is the biggest area for me that stands out. Excuse me. I'll tell you why it stuck out for me. Because right here, I saw this line. Okay, what does that? And then you're going to ask the question, how big is this? If this is, well, you're not seeing the whole picture here, but because it ends somewhere over here. But this one here still keeps going. All right. So now you ask yourself, how big would this be and what is it? Okay, let's get into the picture. Because I get the color out of there and everything else, but watch this. Okay, so now I start to see things, shapes, and I'm starting to see stuff. I don't know if you can see this stuff, but right here, there's something running right here, going across, going down, and over to this area. Faintly, you can see something right here going over to here, into this area right here. Something going around. And it has what looks like structures, or these giant towers just standing up right here. Now, it doesn't look like much now, but watch this. Okay. This, without a doubt, is intelligently made. And you can see, and I want to tell you another thing. This is really wild, and I'm going to get to this in a minute. It appears, like I showed you in the last one about the Olympus Mons. When you look at that one, when I showed you, and I actually said a suggestion that I think what they're doing is they're building on multiple levels. I got an itch in my throat that just won't quit. And it has multiple levels, like they're building on top of the ground, but they also have underground too, which is still exposed. And I showed that in my video about Olympus Mons, you know, cities, the real deal. And I want to show you that in a second. But check this out. What does that looks perfect in nature? And you're going to see this a little bit clearer, these pieces right here. See this right here? It's like they're building on multiple levels. And you can see now, you can start to see these, what look like tower type things. There's something going around right over here. And you can see there's multiple, whatever these are. But there's plenty of places in here, guys, to find this stuff. Now let's see if we can enhance a little bit more. There's something on this side and something on this side. And this comes over to here. There's another one here. Let me see if I can go back to that just for a second. There's one right here. One right here. One going over to this. Looks like a square area. I can't be sure because I showed you again what New York looks like when you blur it out and you do the same thing NASA would do, or at least close to it, where even the smallest buildings, let's say there's 5 put together, as soon as you blur it up, it looks like one big object. Well, so we don't know how many things, because you can clearly see this thing's all over inside this whole area. You can watch this. Okay, you'll start to see like these, like all of this area. There's different things in here. I mean, this might be like one little spot right here might be like 50, 60 buildings. Who the hell knows? We don't know. There's no way of knowing. But check out this blur right here on the top. See how it's like completely blurred, but then over here you can see like clear things sticking out. Like there's like buildings and structures going all over the place here. Right here. And you can see what looks like it's cut out part of the surface. I don't even know how to explain that. It just doesn't make sense to me. All right. Let me jump to another section here. This is the one I was telling you earlier, that this looks, again, this area here on the top almost looks like this, where it's been completely blurred out. Now, when you go to the top here, you go, I'm not seeing anything. I don't know what you're talking about. Well, let me clear it up for you. And suddenly there's, look at all this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Look at the way these things are going around and about, but you notice how they're blurred. Why? Because it is blurred. You can see where they made a big blur patch right here. And you can see how I actually see this thing, the way they actually blurred it out. Why would they blur something that's simply not there? Makes no sense. Okay, so this when I first enhanced it, you don't see too much of it, but now you really have to enhance this thing to try to bring it out. And as you can see, it gets more and the more you enhance, the more this starts to come out. Look at it, even right here. Let me see if I can see what that looks like without. See, this looks like a simple crater, right? Well, and the more you get into this picture, the more that looks like there's things all over this area. Okay? Now it starts to, now you start to see like what looks like structures and things all in a row and like different roads or whatever these things are. I couldn't tell you what they are. Kind of soften it up a little bit here. Okay, let me go down to the 7th one and let's go down and let's see if we can really enhance it. Okay, this is what we've got, and you can see where it's right here. It's been blurred out. So you do. I try to do my best to bring this thing out for you guys so you guys can see this. And look at these weird like these are all connected type thing. I'm not sure what that is, but you can see they look like they're connected. So, okay, let's go back. Go over to here. Okay, this area here, again, a dock area. Don't know what this is, but you can see it's been blurred out. Pixelated, blurred out, compression marks, you name it. Okay. And you can see this, once you get rid of the color and everything, you try to lighten it up a little bit. Let's see what happens. You're starting to see little round circles and different shapes in there. There is things all hidden in here. No matter where you look, there's something hidden. Soften it up a little bit and then go back into it. Now, you can see what looks like these. Look at this. Comes over, goes around here, goes. I mean, they did a good job of trying to black whatever this is out. Now, I don't know if you guys notice this, but see how this looks like a crater or like 3/4 of a crater? When you do this, it looks like it comes out. There's something else that comes off of it. And it looks like there's different things all in here. Look at this. And now it doesn't even look like it. Actually looks like it has like straight areas as opposed to being completely round. And you just look around, there's all these little, what looks like faded out or blotched out, building structures, call them what you will. This is what I was talking about here. It looks like this weird, it almost looks like a friggin' tennis racket laying on the ground. Well, meaning the shape of, anyway. Watch this. Okay, see this right here is just starting to come out. Okay, and comes down. If you notice right in here, you can see what looks like an open area going around these, whatever these are. Okay, and if you notice, it's all completely blurred, but there's like shapes sticking out here and there. What is it? Well, Now you can see like this looks like long roads and different areas right here. Looks like there's different shapes popping out of this. Well, let's keep digging. I think that softens it up a little bit. But see all of the little things in there now? You can start to see stuff being pulled out. But again, because it's obfuscated and it's really been manipulated, you can't. They did their best to try to hide this. But there's something way down here at the very bottom. What that is, couldn't tell you. Now, you can see there's a lot more here in this picture now. And you can see this, all the stuff, compared to what this looked like. There's clearly something in here. Now, I don't know what it is, but it's there. I'm trying to remember if there was something here as well. I mean, you can just see, look at it, like completely blurred around here, and then it's okay right here. Now, check that out. Look at the way this thing looks. There's something clearly here in this picture. How about over here? This itch is going to kill me. Let's move it over here a little bit, if it'll move. Okay. Look at this right here. Nothing here, completely blurred. You can actually see where they blurred it out and made it look like a darker, like it's a darker part of the gravel, ground, call it what you will. But when you enhance this, suddenly you get these 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It looks like just, look at this, 1, 2, looks like large structures and buildings standing up. Now, is that? I don't know. Check this out. Looks like a base or something right here. It looks like a, I don't even know what, well, it's not really a square base because it looks like it's kind of hard to see the shape of this, but something right here in the middle of it, something right there. There's just multiples, I mean, there's stuff everywhere in this picture. And again, when you do one, look at this, it almost looks like it has a square top to it. And then there's multiple things standing up this high, coming off the ground. Come on, man. Look. And you can clearly see the tips of these things sticking out, but yet they're completely blurred from here down. See that? Really? Yeah, this... Although we can't make out those clearly, and that's okay, I'm okay with that. If you say, well, I'm not seeing that, it might be just anything. And we're not just looking at a simple rock here, guys, so it's not just squiggly lines coming off a rock. This is like way out, we can actually back out of this picture, and you can see stuff laying all over this. Now, I'm going to show you something, what I was talking about, like on my last video when I showed you, when I said multiple levels, and it looked like part of the ground caved in. It looked like it caved in, or they're building on multiple levels. Check this out. It does it here too. Right in this area. Look at this. Right here, just follow the little pointer. Right here. And look at the way this thing goes down. Goes up and through in between here, comes out, sticks out, goes over to here, goes out, sticks out. And it looks like it has multiple little white things. There's little white squares and stuff like that run all the way down here. Look at the way it goes up and then it goes all the way back down. Look at what's underneath it. There's something there, and there's something, a little white thing or whatever, and there might be many things here. I don't know. And see this right here? Now it's actually a little bit, see how it's like it has those, look, it's like it's multiple level, like it's on the ground, yes, like they're building above or on the surface of Mars, but they also have something underneath it. On the lower right corner, here's what looks like buildings now sticking out of the blur. God knows what that is, but like I said, this looks like, and you can see where they blurred it out right here, and I'm trying to do my darndest to try to bring this stuff out. This thing is totally loaded with just, you know, structures everywhere you look. And like I said, up here on the right-hand side, there was nothing there at all. Completely blurred out like this. You can still see these pixelations. I thought they were just pixelations at first. And then when you enhance it, you can see that. Now, let's throw a little bit of color in here, too. Soften up, bring a little color. Now, check that out. And you can see the shape of these things. It goes out. One goes out this way. One comes out this way. What does that in nature? And then stick out like this. Look at the way these things are jagged or just squared off, rectangular, sticking out over this other plateau or this platform. So I think that, look at this right here. It's like a, look at this, all right underneath here. It looks like there's one large, whatever this is, underneath whatever this is going over. So, and it looked like the same thing in the other video that I did about, like I said, about the tunnels. It looked like tunnels caved in, or they're building multiple levels. So, and like I said, guys, I don't know. I really don't. Now, I try to dull it out so we don't have too much brightness. And you can still see over here I went back a couple steps and then just decided to put this filter in. And you can still see what looks like all these little buildings, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And there's probably thousands of them. And you're only seeing the larger structures. But there's clearly things in this picture that this don't make sense. I mean, you can literally see the blur going like this and going around this particular part. Why? because it's probably just rock there. But you get into the structures, forget it. Then you're not going to see it. They're just going to totally try to take that out. Look at this. You can see these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and just different. Look at this right here. I don't know if you guys seen this earlier, but watch this. Look at this right here. What does this at the top of the page? Look at all of these, like, whatever that is. I don't know if it's a square circle. It's hard to tell because it's blurred. But look, it comes out. All these different roads, different stuff. Look at this. 1, 2. Look at this. What does that? Look, it comes over here. Comes over here. Look at this. Boom, boom. What does that in nature? And keep in mind, we are far above the surface here. I can back out, and you can still see all of that. Look at that. That, to me, is amazing. They're hiding stuff all over this picture. Now, this, whatever this created this canyon, it could have been a planet that slammed it and just kept going. Who knows? And it just hit the surface and kept going. Or it was eroded by water one time. But I don't care what anybody says. There are structures here. There's been people living here. And now this might have been done millions of years ago, billions of years ago, and doesn't matter. I mean, look at our planet. How old is our planet? 4.5? And yet we still live on all kinds of, different fault lines, volcanoes. I mean, come on. So I think anything's possible here. Let me get back into this. But you can see the way this thing runs off, and you can just see all these whatever these are. I don't know if there's funky shaped structures, but there's tons of stuff in here. And you can see where they've just literally tried to blur this out. Because you can see where some of the areas completely, look at this right here. Boom, come around, goes over to here, goes over to here. Now this is all darkened here because I've actually darkened it up. But check this out. Look underneath right here in this dark area, this weird platform. Now, is it possible, again, see there's nothing there, you don't see it. It looks like they're building multi-level or, multi-leveled areas. So I don't know. Let's do this. Okay, soften up. Let's go back to the... Okay, you see what I mean right here? Okay, so you guys, give me your take on this. I mean, I don't... I'm seeing what looks like structures laying all over the place. And like I said, now that I'm looking at this other picture, and now I'm looking at this weight right here, it almost looks like a squared off area with like a very large tower coming off of this thing, or it's just something right there, but it looks like it's standing up. And it is attached to whatever this is over here. Looks like there's something here, something here. Almost looks squared off right there. But anyway, this goes over to here. Goes over to here, onto this side. There's different shapes in here. It looks like the way they built levels and the cutout of the ground. That just doesn't look normal, guys. Look at it. It's literally cut out in specific the way this thing is cut out. It's not just like fault lines or mountain ridges. These are clearly look like buildings to me. Now, you can't make out a lot of this, and that was their intention. So all I can do is try to bring out what I can see, or what we can pull out of it, out of the picture, and see what happens. Now, this is a different, this is like a blended both red and blue to try to bring out different, perspectives of it, or try to bring out different other objects laying around in here. But you could see what looks like tons of stuff in here and how they just blurred over it. So yeah, again, this area here was nothing there. I'm just going to drag this thing, well, not that, here we go. Let me just do this, and there's nothing there. Bring it back out, and there you go. So, see it? See the difference between the two? Suddenly now you can see things actually inside here. So, anything you can see blurred, there's a reason why they're blurring. And people go, well, I mean, don't get me wrong, guys. Maybe they're doing the geological studies. Maybe they're looking at the terrain and everything else. But don't tell me for a minute they're not seeing these. When, what the heck was his name? When John Grotzinger himself, working for the Mars Curiosity team, because he's a geologist or whatever he is, scientist, he said they can actually see a table from space. So don't tell me they're not seeing these structures, and they're doing everything they can to obstruct them and, block them out, obfuscate, call them what you want. They're doing their best to block this stuff out. It's as plain and simple as that. And again, go down towards this area. There's loads of stuff in here. I mean, you just look at this lower right corner. There's all different shapes. Look at this. Now, because you can't see them too clearly, heck, I'd even pass those up. I'd say, well, yeah, because I can't see it clearly, I don't give any weight to that. And that's fine. I have no problem with that. But when you see something like this at the top, this to me just gave it away. Nothing does that unless it's artificial. It's as plain and simple as that. And like I said, you can't really see that until you do this. There's clearly things here that are definitely being built here or been built here. And you can see this like ring right here. It looks like they try to take this out. But look at the way this thing goes. Boom, 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 boom. 1, 2, 3. This thing's in a row, lined up. All things in here. Something looks like something very large is standing up right there. Platform. Now again, I mean, just look at all of these little things. There might be like in one area, there might be hundreds of buildings like right in this one area. How do we know? And the only reason why I say that is because if you go by the scale of this thing being 2,500 miles, which is probably like, it probably ends here, because they don't even have the labyrinth part in there. That's way over here. And they don't have the end of it, which would be right around here. This is 2,500 miles, supposedly. If it is, I'm not saying that's wrong. All I'm saying, if it is, these things are multiple whatever. There's like tons of structures in here. And they went out of their way to block it. It's as simple as that. And like I said, this area here, this is crazy because this looks like the same exact thing I saw when I said, like I said in my last video about on Olympus Mons, that it looks like a cutaway, or the parts of it look like a tunnel that had caved in. And look at this. It's like reminiscent of the same thing. Look at that. Sticking out over whatever this is. Look at it. You can see something right there, and you can see what looks like right here. See if I can get rid of the color here for a moment. See, there's something right here, white, and goes like this. It looks like an outline of it, sticks out, goes over to here, keeps going. But there's something right inside there. It looks like it's got a nice straight edge, and it keeps running probably underground. And yet, there's things sticking out over it. Like, again, it looked like that tunnel. There was things, areas standing over it, or over that opening in the ground. And it looked like there were structures all over it. Like there'd be like a bunch of structures all over each of these overhanging. So it seemed to me like they're doing a multi-level, kind of civilization going on here, guys. At least that's my thinking. You guys can give me your thoughts. Always like to hear what you guys got to say. If it's nothing at all, if it's, am I correct in saying? I mean, you can clearly see the height in this stuff. I mean, there's no doubt about that. I don't think we need, I don't think there's a secret here. Look at the top of this. It's loaded with things. Look at it just coming out, different lines. And again, we're not looking at a rock here. We're looking at miles above the surface. Excuse me. The surface here. And you can see like multiple things. Just 1, 2, 3, 4. Like I said, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All of these. I mean, come on. This is no doubt in my mind that this is intelligently made. And it's all over this Valles Marineris area, guys. But, I'm going to give you guys the link. If you guys want the picture, I'll put this up here. In fact, I'll put both of these on there. Probably this one here, so you guys can get a better idea. I don't want to make it too dark because you want to see all the. See how when you enhance, you could actually take some of the detail out of here in the darker areas. When you back it off, you see there's something inside there. Looks like it's oval shaped. Whatever it is, it's very large or whatever it is. But you can see right here, and just things right here. I mean, come on, man. And look at the way this. To me, this is ground. The way it's cut out, it just doesn't look natural to me. You guys give me your take. You guys always know. I mean, it's good to have fresh eyes on this. Because sometimes you look at a picture too long and you just go, yeah, maybe I'm seeing things. But what I'll do is I'll put this picture on there. And I'll put these two here. Let you guys take a look at this thing. You guys tell me what you see. Because I'm going to tell you what right now. You're not going to see this in the new pictures. I think they remanufactured them. I think they went through them. And I think they just really went to town on them. And just say, hey, I don't know what you guys are talking about. But there's nothing there. Seriously, there's nothing up in this corner. There's nothing there to see. See? But anyway, guys, figured I'd do this one real quick. I'm probably kind of lengthy, though, and I apologize for that. But you guys can always give me your take on it. Let me know what you think. Anyway, guys, got another cool one coming up for you there. It's another part of Mars, which is really wild, and you can clearly see they've actually done their best to take this picture out on some structures. I'm going to show you that one up pretty soon. Anybody who's jumped on board, thank you very much. I do appreciate it. Go down to my home page. You can look at the people who I support on the very bottom of the page. Check them out. Everybody who's already a subscriber already knows. But anybody who's new, jump on board. Check them out. Give them some love too. And what we'll do is, like I said, I think I've got 2 or 3 coming up. I'm going to try to knock another one out maybe today. If not today, it'll definitely be tomorrow on Monday. So, guys, stick with me. Give me your thoughts down at the bottom. Share this video. Comment down below. Give me some thumbs up. Let me know you're seeing what I'm seeing and that we're all on the same page here. With that, I'm going to let you guys go. You guys have a good day, and I'll see you next pick.